Well, I don't know about the Combine, but I got my control panel right here. Welcome to Crowbars and Portal Guns. Hello Resistance members and test subjects, and welcome to another episode of Crowbars and Portal Guns. Today we will be learning about a man who has the greatest mind of his generation. A man whose inventions and brilliant mind helped boost the abilities of Earth's resistance against the Combine. A man who knows what's in a floppy disk and loves club sandwiches.
Ah, excellent. Alyx, have you ever heard of a club sandwich?
Nope, not once.
Right. To make a club sandwich, you need to start with bread. Not from a bread line, from a bakery across the street. Baked that day, okay? You add tomatoes, lettuce, not vegetable paste, fresh. Then you add bacon. That's from an animal we used to call the pig. You toast the bread and you put all that inside it.
You guys had all that? That's insane.
It is, and I'm not done. Then you add a second sandwich on top of the first one. You put ham in it, also from a pig, and turkey from an animal we used to call the turkey, and more tomato, more lettuce, and a bunch of other things I'm forgetting. It was 6 inches tall and weighed a pound, and had a dozen ingredients from 5 different continents. It was the most impossible food item you could imagine in any age before ours.
Today we will be learning about the Half-Life Alyx hero, Russell. Unfortunately, due to the Combine's destruction of many of Earth's digital records and data, not much is actually known about Russell's beginnings or heritage, but we can infer that he has a New Zealand background due to his strong accent. Russell was a brilliant man that showed great promise with his scientific knowledge and amazing inventions. Using his vast technological intellect, he had applied at the top secret research facility, Black Mesa. Unfortunately, Black Mesa had extremely high requirements and parameters, and Russell was told to try to reapply the following year. Despite this setback, Russell still used his mind to create amazing things. At one point, in the unlikely event that it was to go down, he had downloaded the entire internet up until that point, so that he would still have access to its information. In fact, he even explains what a floppy disk is for using this knowledge.
That there is a floppy disk. We used to store information on them, with magnets, if you can believe it. Specifically, 2 micrometers magnetic iron oxide, 3 micrometers barium ferrite, 1.2...
Russell? How do you know all this?
I'm reading it here on my computer. I downloaded the internet before the war.
What?
You downloaded the entire internet.
Holy
Most
crap.
of it.
Nice.
Yeah, it is.
He was a brilliant man, but not even he was completely ready for the events that changed humanity. On May 16th, during an unknown year in the early 2000s, the Black Mesa Anomalous Materials team was getting ready to scan a new crystal sample under their anti-mass spectrometer. Due to the specialness and irregularity of this sample, the research team was forced to push their machines in order to get decent readings. This resulted in the crystal shattering while within the beam, and causing a resonance cascade, releasing creatures from the border world of Zen into our world. And soon, the introduction of the Combine Empire into our planet. The Combine had detected both the resonance cascade and a thermonuclear explosion. After sensing this, they traveled to Earth and began a war with the entire planet. Earth's militaries were already exhausted from fighting the Zenian creatures, and they surrendered to the Combine after a period of 7 hours. Following the events of the 7-hour war, Russell was relocated from the United States to City 17, which was located somewhere in Eastern Europe. Once there, he began to study the many varieties of Zen flora and fauna, and their behaviors. The Combine, seeing the Zen creatures as a threat, boarded off a large portion of the city that was infested with the many species. This area became known as the Quarantine Zone. Okay, I'm realizing that some of our listeners may not know much about the Quarantine Zone. Russell, can you tell them?
Quarantine comes from the Italian 40 giorni, which means 40 days, the period that all ships were required to be isolated before crew could go ashore during the Black Death.
Okay, Russell, thank you, I guess. Anyway, in addition to studying the Zen creatures, Russell also began to look into the technology the Combine had brought to Earth. Russell, like many other of the humans on the planet, was assigned a job by the Combine Empire. He wore a hazmat worker's orange jumpsuit with a label that roughly translates to quartermaster. Russell's job granted him access to roam the streets of the city without any suspicions from the Combine's police force, also known as Civil Protections. This also allowed him to pick up and collect any unused, damaged, scrapped, or deactivated pieces of Combine technology. As the Combine took over more and more aspects of Earth and its governments, some of the planet's people began to grow angry with the Combine's presence. Many of the survivors of the Black Mesa incident started a resistance against the oppressors. These few people, who knew how the Combine found Earth, took their limited resources and began to recruit many of the other citizens of the Combine settlements in their fight. Russell knew of the resistance, but he never thought he'd be part of it until he was contacted by Eli Vance, a leader of the resistance and a scientist who was employed at Black Mesa. It is unknown how the two met, but it is speculated that they became acquainted while Russell was applying at Black Mesa. Russell, did you work with Eli Vance at Black Mesa? Just asking.
Yeah, well, no, tricky place to get a job at, actually. I interviewed at Black Mesa. They said try again in a year. I don't need to tell you what happened after that. Lucky break for me, really. Not a lot of survivors.
Well, thank you for clarifying that, Russell. Okay, Eli knew of Russell's brilliant mind and decided that he would be a beneficial addition to Earth's resistance. He used his scientific genius and the new high-tech pieces of technology to create amazing inventions for the resistance. One of these being the gravity gloves, which he called the Russells, which stands for really useful something something electronic lightweight something. These were essentially, you put them on your hands, and basically with a flick of the wrist, you could grab objects that were far away and catch them right in your hand. Kind of like Half-Life 2's gravity gun, but on a smaller scale. Russell, why don't you tell us a little bit about the gravity gloves? The Russells.
Oh, just so you know, the Russells have a built-in display that shows you resin, ammo, it might come in handy.
Okay, thank you, Russell. Anyway, now that Russell was part of the resistance, he needed a place where he could do his research and inventing that is private and undetectable by the Combine. If he was caught working with the resistance, the Combine Empire would have severely punished him. So, he took his apartment that he had been relocated to when he was taken to City 17 and built a room behind a false wall. This allowed him to have a laboratory while still be able to remain undetected, in case there were any Combine raids or searches. He had also set up a little camera in his apartment so he could monitor the inside of the room while he was in the lab. Another one of the things Russell had built was a little drone. Well, he didn't build it. He had scrapped parts and hacked into a Combine city scanner to create a drone with a little extension arm. This allowed him to do surveillance and reconnaissance for the resistance, while the Combine would think that this is just one of their normal city scanners going about its duties. Ooh, there's also a point in the game where Russell gives Alyx a gun for the mission she's going on. And, let's just say Russell really likes that gun.
Tell you what, Russell.
Whoa.
If I die, I owe you a gun.
What is
You owe
this?
me a gun anyway. That wasn't a gift. That's my gun.
Okay, everyone, we're going to take a quick break to, very quickly test the interdimensional communicator that I had picked up when I was in Valve's vault. Now, this is the first test, and we think we put it back together well, and we have been getting a signal, so let's test it. Valve multidimensional communicator, test 1.
Attention! North perimeter breach. We have a Strider approaching from the crane. We got the breach! Alert! There's a Strider getting close to the base. Can you take care of the turrets? We got a Strider! They're closing in on the silo! Hold them off! the shell! Go! More 12! Hey, Doc, you cover the breach. Dr. Freeman, you take care of the turret. Go! We got the breach.
Oh my goodness, it actually worked. Oh my gosh, did y'all hear that? We got an actual message, we got an actual transmission. I gotta make a log of this. Okay, I think I got everything back online. Okay, so, anyway, okay, what we were talking about before, Russell, that's right. Well, actually, that's really all the information we have about Russell's backstory and his society. I'm still a little frazzled about what happened before. Anyway, oh, I said frazzled. Okay, anyway, Russell. That's really all the information we know so far. I could go in depth about his roles in the game Half-Life Alyx, but I am going to do a special episode specifically for Half-Life Alyx. So I don't want to ruin that by just describing the entire game with him in it. So, yeah. Thank you all for listening. I'm so sorry it took me so long to post this episode. But I hope you all liked it. That transmission, wow. I'm going to keep tampering with the device and see what I can get. Anyway, until next time, Resistance members and test subjects, keep gaming. Ooh, I do have one more thing to say. The world can be a pretty scary place sometimes, and I mean, y'all are getting through it, and that's real impressive. But if I had to give the world a rating, I'd maybe give it 7. Not great, but not terrible. Let's see how Russell and Alyx rate the world they're living in after it's been taken over by the Combine Empire.
Okay, so right now, what it's like to live on Earth on a scale of 1 to 10. I'd say we're at a 2.
Yep, could always get worse.
What would you rate it before the Combine showed up?
Ooh, that's a toughie. I don't know. Good day? I'd say 6. Yeah, strong 6.
6? That's not great.
I'd actually agree with
Life,
that.
Alyx, it's not always great.
Well, maybe we get the Combine off Earth and we could shoot for like an 8, you know?
Ooh, an 8. Yeah, that really would be nice. Really nice.